Hello, welcome to Steve's Place at 6 p.m. Pacific on January 8th, 2023. It's the first show of the year, and I welcome all back. I'm glad to have you all here. Today we're going to be uh, have a guest, Andrew Batty, who's pretty heavy into the HHO technology, and he'll be talking about smacking different things. Anyway, before we get there, though, I'd like to remind everyone about the upcoming Extraordinary Technology Conference, August 9th to 13th. I encourage everyone to go ahead and get your registration as soon as possible. Uh, it helps us out for both planning and we have like a lot of deposits and stuff we have to get lined up. So we hope to see you all there. Right now I'm giving a 35% discount till the end of January. So if you sign up two people at the same time, you get an extra 5% off. So now's the time to sign up. You save a lot of money and be ready for August. You know, the whole trick to these things is early signups and planning. Um, and by planning early, uh, we can keep the cost down to the registration and the cost of the hotel. I mean, we got this thing down to about $82 a night. And that includes a breakfast, and you're not going to beat that anywhere. Plus, in the evenings, if you notice onto the right hand corner there, you see our guys talking. Well, they're at the wine and cheese there. We have a good spread every night. We're like taco bars, pizza bars, chicken. I have not had any complaints about the food. So come on down and enjoy that. And then I like to encourage everyone to join the Tesla Tech YouTube channel if you haven't already. Okay, um, it's like 30 years of innovative ideas. I mean, we have extraordinary technology conference, exotic research conference, the global science conferences. Soon to be a conference on free energy. It looks like I may have some Tesla Society stuff from back in the 80s. This is good, solid source material you're not going to find anywhere else. Um, so I encourage everyone to come there. And also, go up to my webpage, teslatech.info, and it's a good way to access the channel. But also, you can go to the conference directory and select different conferences and get a listing of all the speakers in each conference. Or you go to the speaker directories. If you know what speaker you like, you click on their name, and we'll have all of their uh, presentations listed there, so you can go right to the one that you want. So go ahead and feel free to use that. And of course, we have a link to Steve's Place Live. Okay, so if you don't do anything else, at least subscribe to the Tesla Tech channel. What that does, um, we have like a couple hundred videos there that are free to watch, but you also get listed on like when we're adding up new videos and premiering them. You'll get notified on that when you're a subscriber. Plus, it helps us, you know. And at the bottom of each presentation, there'll be like a thumbs up guy. We want everyone to be sure that you hit that thumbs up uh, because that will help us help their search engines find us. So it's just important. We have hundreds and hundreds of conferences. You can learn all this source material, and you're not going. Like I said, you're not going to be able to get any place else. And a lot of these guys have passed on, so you're not going to be able to talk to them unless you know a good psychic or medium. If you believe in that stuff. Anyway, like I say, get the exclusive membership. When you sign up, be sure you get the $9.99 per month because that's the one that gets you all of the videos. So if you decide to join, and and you'll be able to get a little badge so we know if you're a member or not. When you're out here doing the comments and that. Anyway, so thank you very much for coming tonight. And with that, oh yeah, one last thing. When you see our emails, it's good to open some up every now and then, because if you don't, they will mark you down as unmarketable. these mysterious email goblins. And if the mark has a marketable, they refuse to even send you the email. Or if you do get one, it'll go straight into your spam box. So please mark us as not spam, and uh, make us your safe senders list. Um, and keep checking your spam or junk folders if you don't hear from me on a weekly basis. And you should probably get about approximately one a week because I announce all the speakers in there. So thank you so much for coming tonight. Uh, Tonight I'm going to introduce you to Andrew Batty. Andrew has he's been making smackers forever, and he's my favorite T-shirt guy. He has great designs, and oh yeah, by the way, I also like to bring one more thing here. Uh, for those who are watching, we have here a plan for an HHO device by Andrew from 2015, and if you stay tuned to the end, I'll tell you how you can get this thing for free. So anyway, let me see. And so yeah, this is a pretty good plan. Okay, Andrew, we're back to you.
Good.
And let me see. And Andrew will be talking to us about Smacker technology tonight. And the floor is yours.
Okay. So Smacker Technology is just a name we came up with. We start off with a water smacker. It's a water enhancing device. I got one right here, and it's on the poster behind me. Bob Boyce invented this like 30 years ago, and it's interesting. It's a kind of strange device, but it's a resonant chamber, and it's got an antenna. It goes into the middle, and it goes into your water. It's a non-Hertzian device, so it only collects 100% non-Hertzian energy. So you put the bottles, like a 48-ounce bottle of water, so you put it on there, and it just sits on the shelf, and it just sits in this resonant chamber. So the smacker technology just means water smacker. We had to come up with a name no one else had. When you have a new product, you get sued. You got some other name, so we just call it. There was a guy named Smack, and it smacks your lips. If you charge the water bottle, the outside of the bottle becomes positive, and the water is negative charge because the non-Hertzian energy is negative. And when you drink the water, you smack your lips. You can feel it give you a shock. And like when we have a trade show booth, we'll like pour some of the water into a paper cup, and it kind of gives you a little spark, and then you tell them to drink it. And we're breaking laws of physics right there. You're not supposed to be able to charge water unless you give it 50,000 volts. And here we're giving it it gives it 8,000 volts, but micro amps, like 0.008 amps. And so we came up with the name Water Smacker, and it's invented by a Department of Defense scientist, Bob Boyce. So he allows us license to sell these things. So we kind of work with him, and he's an interesting guy. So all this, we have a battery smacker, water smacker, and then we have an air smacker, which is a new product. Just came out a little while ago. So here it is, and what it is, it has the same module. Whatever's in top of there's two little Tesla coils in here. It's a high voltage circuit. I'll explain that first. Water smacker's got a little module inside, and it's got two Tesla coils, primary, a few wraps, and then a secondary, real tiny. And what it does, it's a high voltage, makes like a negative charge, and then he flips the polarity, so it's 100% non-Hertzian. And a lot of Tesla people don't understand that, but Bob spent his whole, that was one of his jobs, is to check out what Nikola Tesla did. And 1899 to 1900, he went to Colorado Springs to just do 100% non-Hertzian energy testing, and he was there for like a year and a half. It was a real statically area. There's a lot of lightning up there. And we have some friends. They have a water smacker, and they moved there, and they said this water, oh boy, does this smack get you shocked. You get a shock off the water because it's such static electricity area, and it's high elevation. I think it's on a ley line, and this non-Hertzian energy has a lot of different names. It's depends on the inventor. Every year someone's inventing it. It's longitudinal energy, non-Hertzian, 0 point, Oregon, Jurassic Sea, subtle energy they call it. It's energy. Then electrical engineers call it back EMFs because it fries your electronics, so they try to keep it out. And in our electronics, we try to bring it in. Like you capture it in a toroid sense, and it's not a transformer; it's just a capturing device. It's a little bit different way it's working. And this energy comes from the black hole. We weren't taught this. This is a good fact right here. 1930 or 32, they had physics change to modern physics. They left out the negative equation. So they get rid of the ether. That's another name for it, the ether energy all around us in abundance, Tesla said. And we're just tapping into a little bit of it. And we went with Einstein. He said the ether didn't exist. So we never learned it. They took Tesla out of the test books. The Rockefellers own all the textbook making and then the curriculum at the schools. It's kind of well regimented and what we're to learn and what not, so that they can control us. And I don't know. It's funny. I got involved with all this. I started off. I started this hydrant garage business. I'm in Cayucas, California, and I started. I go to this mining claim and back. It's a 900-mile drive. 450 there back, and I like going all the time. But this 4-wheel drive truck, man, it just costs a lot of money. So how can I save on gas? So I went online and I made my own booster, a hydrogen booster out of water. You separate the water and make it. So I was making an ionic water vapor, and luckily I got a PWM that was N-channel MOSFET. So we're trying to do is bring in this negative energy into the water, and so once you do that, it makes ortho spin state, and if you push it enough, we make the ortho spin state's negative charge. It's not sharing a proton, so the two H's are floating around, and then they need a positive mate, a magnetic mate, which is carbon. So it's a perfect combo. So it grabs hold of carbon. It's like a catalyst to the fuel and it blows all the hydrocarbon apart in the cylinder. So we're complying by making boosters. See, Bob got the whole card around water, but they don't want you to do that. And it goes on and on about, okay, 1932, there's 6,000 patents. Well, this was like 5 years ago, so it's probably 7,000 patents. Since 1932, they've been gag ordered, meaning that you can't make this product. Gag order means it's showing over unity, 120% or over unity. You can't create and make this device. So we're just going to, you can't make it. We're just going to shelf it. We'll buy it off you for a couple of $1 million, but you can't never make it. And you got to sign this contract. And Bob said he's seen the same contract like about 10 times. It's all worded the same. Okay, you will own everything you invent from now on, and here's some money, and you can never talk about it again, and don't ever talk about it. If you do, we want our money back, and anything you invent from now on becomes ours. So usually the investor guy smacks his lips because he gets doubles his money back, but the inventor usually gets kind of bummed, And so when Bob that was offered, he did it a couple of times. You can go look at the car he put together. It's a Toyota Prius. He put this 100-cell box in the back trunk. So if you go to hydrogengarage.com, I can put a link. /PWM3G, and that's just a folder, and it has all this stuff in it, and it's got a bunch of interesting stuff. So that's that project that he had where he hit resonance, and so he got the water, and he did it. He ran the car on the electric car ran, the electric part up to about 50 miles an hour, so it was all electric. Then he got to 50. He didn't have a chance to make a throttle. He said it was either on or off. So he took the gas tank out, and he just had the water running in the cell in the back. So he went like 55, 60 miles an hour. He had a rheostat in the middle of the seat, and it shows pictures of this, and there's a link on that page I just mentioned. It's interesting to watch it, and so he was told not to do that. So, he had to go to court for it and everything. They said he was driving it all over the streets and stuff, and he didn't even get it off jack stands in his driveway. And this was when he was living in Florida, and he was driving race boats, these jet skis, like. He was racing those, and he was doing it with the water, and he happened to hit resonance, and he was winning the races with the jet running that thing on 100% water. And so they say you can't do this, so you're threatening national security. So you go, how can we comply? So you can make boosters. So we make boosters. So we're complying by making these boosters. So it's good for semi-trucks, cars. You can save like 25%, a semi-truck like 10%. So I'll show you later in this interview here of what some products that we have. And then And the water smack is just another thing that we came up with, since it helps your immune system. Since we got the COVID and everything, you might as well stay healthy. So what it does, it makes negative charge water, which cancer is positive, virus is positive. So it follows a body electric book that we're, and then again, the doctors go, well, I don't know, this is guy's out in left field, Dr. Becker, Robert Becker. And he was experimenting with, he found out everything's about electricity. With, he said, how a frog can grow a leg and a salamander grows a leg. How does it grow back? And he found out it was all by electricity. So he kind of went by that, and then it kind of showed everything's an electric current. Our body works off electric, but we don't have any wires or nothing in us. But so it helps negative charge water. It also does the water smacker also. When you put in here, it erases the memory of the water, and then it also gives a hydrogenized charge. And we're not moving any metal. We're not doing electrolysis. This is just like a radio signal of femtosecond pulsing from this non-Hertzian energy from space. We're just capturing it, and we go into the antenna, and it goes in the water. It likes water, this non-Hertzian energy. It likes magnets, water, toroid fields, like the planet has a toroid field. And non-Hertzian energy proves the planets are round, so you can go back to the roundness of the planet. And I don't know this flat Earth thing, but that's the New World Order map. I'm not into that flat Earth thing, but so I think they're round, and it's a toroid field. I tell people that around flat Earth, you go to the Venturi sky, you watch that's really good for the weather. And you go to the equator, you can watch the currents. They don't mix very good in the equator. Right in about the center, you can see the currents go like this, and they hit each other, and they go the other way. You go around the world, you'll see it all the time. That shows me it's round. And also the toroid field has a lot to do with it. And if you read Tesla's books, he always shows that planets are round, and they don't know where he got all this information from. That's very mysterious. How Tesla, he said like ETs helped him. Good ETs. We don't know. There's good ETs, bad ETs, and I think there's bad ones and good ones. Just like on Earth, you got good people, you got bad people. I think it's the same everywhere else. And I don't know. I just find this information fascinating. So in 2007, I started this business, and I used to be in the T-shirt business for 26 years. I just screen printed shirts, and then that went overseas to China. So it was a long story. We had 250 accounts in museums and aquariums and zoos, and we were doing really good. I'd be printing shirts today if that kept going. But this company like Mitt Romney's friend, and that money, that Blaine Capital came up with this company that just took over all our concessions. They must have had 25 salesmen all at once, and they gave them $100,000 up front. So we're in the gift market show of shirts. Like we had a dolphin shirt company, so we had dolphins and orcas on shirts, and we worked with a bunch of artists. And then when the Jurassic Park movie came out, we had a lot of T-Rex shirts, and we helped save the Oklahoma Museum was going out of business. So we had shirts for sale. We're part of this gift market, like Disneyland. You come off the ride and you funnel into the gift market, into the shop, and you can buy stuff. So we did that and then I guess the cabal saw, they're making lots of money. Let's take it from them. So they gave everybody $100,000 up front, and we lost like 250 accounts overnight. And then they just had, $1 an hour slave labor in China print all the shirts. At first, they were really crummy, and then they got really good at it. So I didn't have nothing to do. I never went to college. And it was a long story with me. Sister died of cancer at 14, and the chemotherapy killed her. So at 18, I became homopathic. And then 3 years later, I got sick. I asked the Lord, I was so heartbroken. It was really bizarre. I didn't want to live, and then I got a hole in my heart. It was a weird feeling. So I became a Christian. I gave my life up to Christ. I just laid on the floor of the hotel room, and I just gave it all up. And since then, I've asked the Holy Spirit to come in. So my guidance is always the Holy Ghost. So I always go, okay, Lord, you know everything. What's going on? Like today, we have so much problems, and you don't know what's up and what's down. So I always ask the Lord, and he always pulls through with his hand. He'll always answer any question you got. But his timing, like the pastors tell me, teaches you patience. It's like, so you have to wait. You have to wait upon the Lord. Just wait and study to show thyself approval. Just go do some research. So I know all this stuff, and so I'm having a good time doing this, and so I get guided along here, and I don't trust half the stuff, but and I shouldn't talk about that. But I just say that in my background because he keeps me alive. If I mention him, the Lord, Jesus. So if I mention him, I can stay alive. I'm in a dangerous business doing this, and I felt led to do this. like I didn't go to college when I first got saved. He goes, no, you're not going to go to college, Andy. I'll teach you college. I'll take you to my college. I go, okay. Then he goes, I'll take you to Christian boot camp. And I go, oh, okay, what's that? And all of a sudden, a month later, my best friend kills himself in the garage I was living. And then I learned all about boot camp, like, how to cast demons out and all that stuff. And I was going to leave. The place was haunted. I was going to move out and go back home. And I was 23 years old. I was going to go to college. I was going to go with my parents. I lived in San Fernando Valley, the kid growing up. So I moved to Cayucas to go surfing. And so I'm mentioning that because that's why I'm doing this. I just, I'm kind of doing a different, kind of business. And I'm just following that dangling carrot in front of you. We all have it. We're all on a different level. But so I always just go, okay, what's next? And so let's get back. Okay, and then we jumping the story. So here's the smacker technology. So we came up with the word water smacker because no one else had it. So then we go, might as well call it air smacker. So this is the same thing as inside the same module. Instead of having it go in the water, we're going in this antenna. There's a fan underneath here, so it sucks the air underneath, and then the air comes up, and you put in your bedroom or office. Then it comes out the top of the little holes, and this is it's a E field antenna. With non-Hertz energy, you can't just use a solid rod. It's nice to have all this stuff on it like a tree because it's the E field. It means every little tip of that steel gives off this electricity, the energy, which is all negative, and it's a negative ionizer. So this goes in your room, and all the charged air becomes negative. So it's floating around your room, and he also puts a Schumann frequency in it. That's the only frequency is in there. There's a lot of healings at Schumann frequency, like our skin. It helps. It's really good for keeping you calm. It's the home of the earth. The Schumann frequency, the hum of the earth. When the non-Hertzian energy from the black hole of space or the middle of the MIliky Way, they don't know where it's coming from, but it comes to the earth, it's negative, and the earth is positive ground antenna. So it's opposite to what we have a negative ground with our AC electricity. This is, that's the home of the earth. This is my layman terms of what's happening. So this negative energy comes to the earth and it hits the earth, which is positive. So it's got the home of the earth. It's the hum of the earth. It's like a meditation. So when it comes up through when you're sleeping, it makes you feel mellow when it goes through the air. Like my wife had pollen is positive, so it knocks you off pollen. The spring comes to your window. So I put this thing on the windowsill. I clean the windowsill real good, and it sucks air from outside. I crack the window. You want to do it in the winter time, but in the spring and summer you can, and it brings fresh air in the room. It just makes you leave the room and come back. It has this nice smell to it. It's hard to explain, and it makes you mellow. I don't know. When you go to sleep, it helps you sleep better. And so it's also, Bob said it's a good time to get it out because people get vaccinated. I guess they give out spike proteins. Yeah, I've noticed it. I think it's kind of weak. You cough a little bit and then whatever. I think your immune system just beats it. But so it helps to get people have like lung cancer or lung problems. This is a good thing to have. And it's a negative ionizer. There's a lot on the market, but nothing like this one. And this one doesn't collect dust, which is funny. Most of these negative ionizers have a filter and stuff because they're just using AC electricity to run it. They have a high voltage circuit, but it's negative and stuff. But this one's, Bob knows how to flip the electronics so that it brings out like thousands more volts, and it's all negative only. So the positive becomes negative. It flips the polarity. It's kind of bizarre. When I was first hooking it up, I go, "Oh, Bob, I got it hooked up wrong. I know your schematic doesn't seem to be right." And he goes, "Oh no, that's right. It'll override the potential." So how does the positive override it? He goes, "Well, you're dealing with 8,000 volts versus 12 volts. What do you think is going to win?" I go, "Well, 8,000. That rides right over it. It wants to do it. You let it, because that's what that's kind of the tricky part of it. A lot of Tesla people know this. Like the people have a Tesla coil, like, the big one, you can see it, and the guy's got a cage and it's going, that's actually a power plant. So when Tesla drove his car in 1934, that Pierce Arrow, his Tesla car ran wirelessly, and he was at Colorado Springs. You can watch this. There's a book his nephew wrote. That's Tesla's nephew came with him and drove in a silent car in 1934 around there. It's kind of funny how the Pierce Arrow Company, I kind of researched it, and they turned into Studebaker, bought it up, and then they all went under because they weren't doing oil. They put a Westinghouse electric engine in this car, and he just tuned a box in the glove compartment with an antenna, and he just turned it on and messed with it and turned it on. I go, okay, it's ready to go now. And all of a sudden the cars started and went, and they drove all around. So what I think they had a Tesla coil plant in a barn somewhere, and they were able to drive like, around an area of maybe 50 miles or something. And then Bob said they could do that today, but if everybody had cars like that, it'd be so much EMFs in the air, it would be too much. It wouldn't be the way to do it. It was not safe. And so, so we have, we're on the petrodollar and stuff. We're hooked to the oil. So he helps Trump make money with the oil. So when, right now we're like losing it, this new Green Deal too. I'm changing the subject again. The elite want to put money in hydrogen stations. They're all into that. They can't stand what we're doing. We're making gas on demand. Like no dangerous tank on board, no pressurized hydrogen. Don't have a bomb on board. They want you to go to their hydrogen station. So how much a gallon? $15. But you're cleaning up the air. It's super clean because it's all hydrogens. All comes back to water. That's the exhaust. There's no fumes. There's no soot. There's no hydrocarbon. It's all clean from water. So if you get in the car on water, our thing is like Bob ran it on demand. He made the gas as he went. He did it on like 12 liters a minute. See, science says it takes 250 liters a minute to run a V8 engine on water alone if you do the hydrogen tank thing. But if you do Bob's gas, which is higher up on the orbital chart, you can make like 10 different levels of gas from water. In school we just taught, you split the water, you got hydrogen, oxygen, the two H's and one O, and then that's it. There's no levels of it. And so if you make deuterium is classified, and then above that is tritium, which is radioactive. That's the most powerful gas on the planet from water, but it's radioactive, so that's no good. Deuterium is good, but it's classified. So right below that is, I have a chart. I didn't put it in my slideshow, but I have a chart of this, my layman chart of the gas that happens and what levels it at. So when I first started, I was making ionic water vapor. Some people find out if they heat up the water and put too much electricity in there, and it doesn't last very long, but the cell lasts, and you start eroding the electrodes. See, when you move too much electricity with electrolysis, you start moving metal, that you start eroding the electrode and it turns red like rust. And so when we make our cells, that's another thing. We make these. Sorry, here I'll show you. Here's like this is for a V8 engine. It's called a D7. It's got 13 plates. We put a positive on the outside and negative on the inside. That's how the Joe cell is. It's got that polarity. And so did Edwin de Grey's device. Same thing. He puts positive outside, negative on inside. When you do that, it collects non-Hertzian energy. So then we have magnetic field because these other plates are neutral. They're not hooked to nothing. And so they're voltage splitters. So if we put 12 volts in here, each plate gets 2 volts. If you go below 2.8 volts, you won't erode the electrodes and it'll last you a lifetime. And then gold starts to grow on the negative side. That's another fascinating thing is this non-Hertzian energy, you're enhancing that, bringing it into the cell. So on the negative side, gold starts to grow. It takes the ormus out of the water and plates it onto the plate. And once that ormus is in there, the gold, your gas quality goes up. It's like 4 to 10 times more powerful than the regular parahydrogen. So a lot of these HHO guys went out of business, but we hung in there. We're just a small business. I just have me and a few friends help me put these together. And so this is one of them. And then here is Jerome used to make cells, and he's making them again. This is his ice block 14.7. Like this is for a V8. And he puts clear on this side so that you can see the water level, and you can watch that gold grow if it's on the negative side. The positive side is black, and it's carbon. See, positive is carbon, negative is gold, negative is alkaline, negative is rejuvenator, is positive is oxygen. It's the yin yang. You need both, positive, negative, white, black. The proton, neutron, and so it's part of that. So this is the same thing, 13 plate, and you have it hooked up and positive, negative. And this one doesn't have a bracket on it, but he make these. Jerome's starting to make them. I got to put them on the website. And then there's a smaller one. This is an S7. This is for like a 4-cylinder car. And I got a new product with a toolbox. I'll show you later that this all fits in a box, a toolbox with a tank and a pump. And then I got one of my Volvo, and I went from 18 miles a gallon. I get like 24.7 the last time I did it on a road trip. Around town, I get like 22. So you save like 25%. And your car has a little more horsepower. You can feel it. It's cleaning all the carbon out. It cleans all the carbon, the rings and everything. And it doesn't embrittle the motor. That's like bullshit. There's a lot of information on hydrogen that they make it up. And you get hydrogen embrittlement if you're pushing pounds of, 1,000 pressure from one tank to another. That's what they do. And they say they run it all day long through a pipe, rushing gas from one pipe to another. Yeah, after a while, the metal will start to embrittle and crack because it's getting homogenized. It's like overpowered. On our system, we're only adding a little bit, so it doesn't really do anything. And the hoses, after a couple of years, or maybe they might homogenize. Like our bottle homogenizes because the non-Hertzian there, this bottle starts to crack and it'll lose the thing. And from the hydrogen, negative hydrogenize every day in, day out, and then it'll start to crack and leak. So you just replace the bottle, and then so we have if you want to buy one of these to help Steve out, you get $50 off. I'll just put Tesla Tech if you put that as a coupon. If you want to try this out, you can go read about it at watersmacker.com, airsmacker.com. If you feel moved, if you go, well, I'm going to try that out, or go read about it. Don't buy nothing, just read about it and learn. I've learned a lot from this from Bob. So he was the trigger for all what I do. He's licensed us to sell this stuff, and I met him, and then at a hotel room in LA, and when drums in the B3, and this over here to the I can't see my hand. That's the website. You can read about it. The Air Smacker explains everything, and the Water Smacker has a patent. It's also part of this. What's fascinating, that's where Bob's at, the Chi Box healing room. So it's an IC room at a hospital. The Rockefellers want nothing to do with it. So it's supposed to come out with the med beds when they come out. And this is all classified stuff. Like he said, you can't speak about it yet. I don't know why, but so the Chi Box healing room would be Royal Rife frequencies. Royal Rife was that man that brought us the 5,000 piece microscope. We can look at, now we can look at the molecule, look at the DNA and all that. And, here they put him in jail, the Medical Association, because he was healing people with frequencies. And at the time, Rockefeller didn't want nothing to do with that. And, it's funny how the hospitals don't want into this technology. And I did a breathing machine for a while, and I stopped selling it because I got attacked from trying to sell it. I have a video on it on YouTube. Oh yeah, my Hydrogen Garage on YouTube is youtube.com/Hydrogen Garage. That's my site, and I don't do controversial stuff, so it stays up. All those videos stay up, and it's just technology stuff. And they don't get many hits. They get throttled back, meaning that it's been up for 5 years, and I go look at it, and it's 1,000. I come back 6 months later, and it's 500. I come back there, then it's 600. Then. I'm sure more people are seeing it. At first, you can tell someone's messing with they call it throttling back. They don't want the technology out. And I'm being thwarted as well. Like these news that I watch, they're all got taken off YouTube, and now they're on Rumble. So I have a list and Rumble where I listen to. And okay, so we got the Air Smacker, Water Smacker. Oh, now we got the Battery Smacker. So here's one right here. Okay, this is interesting little device. Okay, it's a battery charger. It's got you got the clips on, and then you just plugs into let's see if I can the other way around. Oh, there we go. You plug it in, it's only 15 volts, and it runs like 10 watts, barely anything. Oh yeah, and the Water Smacker only runs on 2 watts. So you leave it on 24/7, you're barely causing any energy. You can run it with a solar panel if you had to. So this is a low powered, you can charge a battery, and what's inside of it is there's a Tesla coil. You see, this one on top is the RF inductor, so that stops the pulsing. That's positive. The one underneath it is fine wire. It's like 32 wire. Just a little circuit Bob has when he programs the chip, and it's only got 14 components on it, and you got to plug it in, and then he's got a MOSFET on there in the middle, and so it just pulses. It takes a non-Hertzian energy, which is femtosecond pulsing, which is 15th millionth of a second. They found out it was pulsing later on, and so this is what's inside the Battery Smacker. You can go read about that. these last a lifetime too. They don't get burned out. You can hook this up wrong and it'll still work. He's done a good job of making sure that it keeps going. So we make these and sell them, and then you can sell it as a kit too. As a kit form, you put it together yourself. And also we have two of them. I'll show you the link. Put two together. You can put 24 volts on here. So I charge my golf cart with this. I got two of these, and I'm selling a golf cart for like $500. You can, and it runs on 20 watts. I can charge my golf cart. When my other golf cart stuff I have, and that thing just hogs the electricity. I mean, it's like 250 watts, and you got to plug it in, and then it gets hot, and then it don't last long, and then it boils of water in the battery. You got to fill the battery with water. My golf cart, I never fill them with water because the non-Hertzian energy, when you're on the battery smacker, it's not doing electrolysis. It's putting the radio frequency in there, the femtosecond pulsing, and we're just putting. I mean, he's got it around 2K, the frequency he has it on, and it goes back and forth. It's got a dial on the end, and you can go back from non-Hertzian energy or electromagnetic. And as you can see, two waves on oscilloscope going back and forth. So you can put it on charge mode if you want to hurry and just charge your car overnight. If you want to desulfate the battery, you put it on negative charge. And it does, it breaks down the crystallization of a lead sulfide crystal. So what happens, your battery get old, they don't stop working because they got lead sulfide crystals shorting the two plates. In each plate, each battery has like 6 cells inside, 12 volt power. So you want around 2 volts. And what happens is they get shorted because of the little tiny like spider webs. So this knocks all that spider web down. The crystallization goes back to it breaks it down, and the crystallization goes back to acid, and then so it gets more acidic. So you don't need to put electrolyte in there. And the lead just floats. It makes it suspend. Little particles of lead just suspend, and eventually it just plates itself. And you can shake up the battery. If you got a lot of sludge in your battery, an old battery sitting around, if you shake it and put the battery smacker on there, it'll suspend it, all that stuff inside, and it'll eventually plate back up. If you got a good battery, it has good plates, not a cheap battery. They make a lot of batteries now that just falls apart, so you go buy a new one, But it won't work with the fiberglass ones. It only works with lead acid batteries. So it won't work with lithium or the gel cell. One guy said the gel cell that did help, he noticed, but I think he was just charging it because it does charge. So that's just, it's one item we make. And I can show you on the slideshow. I'll show you better pictures. And then, so that's the smacker stuff. So go battery smacker, air smacker, and the water smacker. And then I can show you my hydrogen stuff. Here's a, okay. Yeah, anyway, it's interesting that, it's got a resonant chamber, and there's the antenna. So the non-Hertzian energy is negative. That goes negative. The aluminum foil inside is positive. And then PET plastic doesn't bring out any plasticides. We're in a plastic scare. Some people don't like plastic at all, but this has been around since the 50s, and it's lab grade, food grade proof. We grew up eating this. There's no plasticides coming off PET plastics. PET plastic has a little triangle and a 1. I have a page explaining that. Some people freak out about the plastic because we're in a plastic scare. And yeah, the real plastic bottles that Coke comes in from China with no 1 on the bottom. Yeah, I'd hesitate what's in there. And I don't drink soda either. Soda's positive, and it's acidic, and it's an acidic bomb. Cancer is acidic, so you stay away from this. Keep your body pH, your blood pH, alkaline. And we're supposed to live our whole lives at 7.3 to 7.4 blood pH. When you're a kid, it's easy to do. You can eat anything. You're a child. As you get older, like I'm 64 now, so you get more acidic as you get older, and just helps you keep you alkaline. So lemon's the best alkaline. Like if you drink soda, switch to lemon and iced tea, and you'll last longer. You won't be in pain. And then and the battery smacker, breaks down the crystallization. The water smacker does the same thing to your bloodstream and in your body. It breaks down crystallization, so it cleans out blood plaque. Like, it's amazing how negative charged water will break your blood plaque. So a lot of people have water smacker. Very few people send them back. The people that send them back never plug them in, or they've heard about it, or someone gave it to them and they don't know what it is. They don't go read about it or anything. But no one sends them back. I have a thing after a couple of years. I have 2-year warranty to try it out. I got 2 years to try it out. So it's a good way to stay alive. The negative charge, and you can learn about. Just reading about it is kind of interesting. And then, like I said, Bob Boyce inside up here is You can read Bob's. Listen to him in the videos. Don't listen to me. Listen to him. He's the scientist. He's like the brilliant guy that, he's the doctor of aerospace engineering, quantum physics. So I asked about quantum physics one day, and he goes, "Oh, I just into the computers, quantum computers. I guess they're classified. I don't know why. Like D-Wave computer has some, for CERN, and I guess China has a CERN, and they're collecting all the data, everything we do, and so keep your nose clean, whatever you do." So I just preach the gospel. They don't like that. They don't like the name of Jesus. I go back to him because there's no other name on the earth where the demons have to flee from. So I like that. I go to the top. I don't mess around with Galactic Federation or anybody. I go right to Jesus. I stick to the top guy, and you can't go wrong. Like Arthur Blessed said, he's more than enough. All you can handle, all you need. Okay, so here I'll go to the slideshow here. Let's see what do you got here. Oh yeah. Oh, Steve was doing it. That's the up on the over here. Yeah, this is my battery charger for the golf cart. So a 36 volt, 48 volt golf cart. If you want to try it out, I run mine with a solar panel. I got a little video I put up on Hydrant Garage showing this with the solar panel and how I have it set up. And I used to have it plugged in with this big box, and then that thing didn't work after a while. It kind of burned up, and then so I got a solid state one for $80 online. I bought two of them. They lasted a couple of months and burned up, and then now these haven't burned up yet. These keep it going, and I noticed also it's like I first bought the batteries in the golf cart and put them right back up, and they keep the full charge now. It's pretty good. It keeps your batteries like I probably can never have to replace the batteries on my golf cart. Probably for the next 50 years, I'll probably keep driving around. And that's another thing. Bob works on batteries. Like he says, Elon Musk is frying battery. He abuses batteries, so he's coming up with battery technology that's a little safer and lasts a long time. And so okay, let's see what else I got here. Okay, well that's my website here, Hydrant Garage. Here, this is my site. It's hydrantgarage.com, and it takes you to the store. I've had it up since 2007, and I have fuel saving devices. Let's see. How do you change the? Okay, here we go. Okay. This is a Volo circuit. I work with this Volo Performance, and this is a FS2 edition. You can just buy this by itself for $95. I have it 125 if you want it to be soldered in with this OBO2 port. If you just want to hook up 4 wires and solder yourself, it's $95. You just hook up 4 wires, a positive, negative, and there's an in and an out, a green and a white wire. And if you tell me what your I have it now where you buy this, you tell me what your pin population is. Your OBO2 ports under the dash. It goes to your computer, the ECM. And so this, what it does is it tells the engine don't flood it with gas. It can't throw a check engine light. It's been proven since 2008. I've been working with these guys. At first they had little people would send them back here and there, but today they got it down where all the maps are working, and it works on most cars. I would say 95% of the cars. And so I've been selling those since I started. So we have to put this in with the kit, because if you don't, the O2 sensor on your car is basically a fume sniffer. It doesn't sense oxygen at all. That's just a misnomer to kind of act like they're cleaning the exhaust when they don't really care. All they want to do is sell you more gasoline, and they don't like what I have. The oil companies don't like. They don't like the idea of water. They panic because they lose all their business, and they don't want to go under either. A lot of people work for the oil companies, so you don't want to just liquidate that whole thing. And it's hooked to the petrodollar, so you need to have oil. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it does smog up the air, but it's whatever it takes us to get around. I don't care. Look, so boosting just kind of helps save you on fuel. And then we were really busy this summer. I've never been so busy in my life this summer. The gas was high, and it's kind of a shame how we're not pumping our own oil. And I have a mining claim too. You can go get the gold. They don't want you. They give you all these rules and regulations where you can't go mining. You can't do this. You can't do that. We're just doing it recreationally. It's not like a full, mining pit or whatever. I can see that's no good, but it's the rules aren't made right. I don't know. I'm just visiting the plant. It's a long story with me, but so okay, let's the next picture here. Yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of rambled. That's how my mind works. I need to stop and focus. That's my problem. Is like I'm all over the place. I think because knowledge is increasing today, and we're all, it's just too much. Okay, here's another item we sell. Buddy Davidson's fuel vaporizer. Now, Buddy, this is number 5. He vents things, and he said he's making this since he was a kid. And so we sell this kit. It's like $180, and it's got a copper fitting. This is number 5 that he did. Buddy's a Lockheed engineer, and so he does this. He's going to retire soon. He's like my age, and he's a nice guy. See, oh yeah, if you buy this thing, he'll help you if you ever get stuck with anything. So it only takes an hour to install this. As an HHO kit, kind of takes you all day to mount the cell, put the tank, put the fire dryer, and then run a hose all the way to your air intake. This hooks up within like an hour. What it's doing is you put this metal aluminum circle here of tubing that comes with it, and you put it around your exhaust manifold, and this hooks into your PVC valve. Uh, some cars you got to go see if you can even get to this. Some of it's all encased in metal. You can't even get to it anymore. In the old days, the trucks had the valve cover, and it was always this PVC valve with a hose. It's that system that goes to the charcoal canister, and it takes your fumes, and it recirculates the fumes. Well, he took advantage of that, and what he's doing is he's heating it up. So this vacuum air gets heated up. Then it comes up to this, gets really hot, and it comes up to this little copper fitting and starts dripping, and it's got a little needle valve, and it just drips slowly, dripping, and makes fumes, and so that recirculates fumes. So you just basically push on the gas pedal less, and you can get 10 times more power out of fumes. Everybody that makes a fuel vaporizer, I'm surprised we're still making this thing and they don't do anything. Because everybody else makes fuel vaporizer, they come after them. They buy it up. Like Ford will buy it up. I have a book called the 250 mile an hour carburetor book, and it shows so many people, like so many stories. I researched all this stuff, and I have Water Power Car. You can go look at that, waterpowercar.com. I have a lot of research on there, but a lot of the links are dead. I researched a lot of stuff, and they've been making cars on water since like 1890. They did it. When the first guy did it, and the first diesel car was peanut oil. The guy was going to put peanut oil, and then they switched it to petroleum because and so everything's kind of switched this for gas and petroleum, and so anyway, so you need a Volo with this too. If you have OBO2, which is 96 or on, you got to get the Volo with this. So I have that as a combo. So yeah, so I came up with the combo with the plug. So this plug thing came out recently. So you get both of them on there. The Volo alone saves you 10 to 20%. And then this Volo, you can go up to 45%, 50% mileage with this. No one believes us. One friend sent as a joke, he bought one from me, and he sent it to this guy, Tony's Garage. It's on YouTube. And this guy put it on a car around a racetrack for like a couple of minutes. He goes, that doesn't do nothing. No, it's for a road trip. You got a long trip. You got to heat this thing up. You got to, it doesn't get going until like 10 minutes later. It's got to heat up. Then it starts to work. You can't just run around track and then see if it's doing any better. You got to go for a long road trip, and big trucks, it works good. What another problem is this is a gas tank. As a small tank, you got to fill gas under the hood. That's the only thing people don't like. You don't want to put hot fumes in your gas tank. It's kind of dangerous. So Buddy decided to, I'll just have my own little tank here. So the vacuum sucks the gas out, and it drips into this needle valve, and you adjust it to how much the bubbles go by. It's a way of, when you install it, there's a way of adjusting it. Then you kind of just leave it alone. And if this runs out of gas, it doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt anything. It just stops the vaporizing. So it just vaporizes the fuel, and you get better mileage. Problem with this one, no one believes us, So no one sends this back. But we don't have a warranty on this because it can screw it up really easily. And we don't care if some people get it in other countries and copy it. Buddy don't care. We're just trying to help the planet out. And there's so many people out there. A bunch of people could be selling this. And so then it comes with a Volo, you hook this up here. So it tells the engine don't flood it with gas. See, what happens is you get a clean burn out of this, and there's no fumes. And so the O2 sensor goes, oh, it's not a smoky mix. Flood it with fuel, like rich in the fuel. And then also he leaned out a few fuel trims, Volo did. He worked with race car drivers. So when you floor it, you can tell it's working because your car has more pickup than it did before because he's leaning out fuel trims. And you're not going to burn up any valves because you're not a sports car racer. Those guys that burn up valves are racing around a track, trying to win the race. Yeah, of course they're floored the whole time. And you only floor it for a couple of seconds when you get on a freeway, maybe 5 seconds. So you're not going to burn up anything, and it helps you out lean those fuel trims. It helps. So he leaned a few out that he can get away without doing the check engine light. That was Dan, the owner of this, did that. Okay, now let's see. That's Buddy's fuel vaporizer. I think the combo here, I think it's just 250 for this, and the fuel vaporizer. And then, okay, here's a 9x7 cell, 9 inches by 16. It's 16 wide, and it's about 3 inches thick. This is good for a V8, anywhere from like a bigger V8, like it's 8. It can go up to 10 liters, so anywhere from 6 to 10 liters. This is for that. We have a Volo 16. This is a Windows to your computer. It's pretty good. Um, we had trouble getting chips for this, so I have a few in stock. I don't know how much longer we'll keep it, but it works really good. I got one, and it reads everything. You can go learn on that. You can just type in Volo VP16, and you'll find the site on my Hydrant Garage site or any. There's only a few people selling right now. And then you have the gas tank. Comes with the tank and the hoses and everything. And you mount the tank above the cell and the gravity feed, and it's a bubbling tank. You have the gas coming out, and it bubbles the tank. And you have a dryer filter. You don't have a picture of that. That keeps it stat. So then we have a PWM that brings us. Our PWM is basically for HHO. It's a Bob approved, and we're negative charge, and we're bringing. We have toroids too. We have these round things up here. One's an inductor, and one's an RF choke. So one's bringing in this femtosecond pulsing from the ether, the negative, and it increases. What it does is between the PWM. The PWM is just a controller where it takes the DC and it starts pulsing at square wave, because you want to whack the molecule. And so you want to hit it in such a way that it breaks off easily. It splits the water, you're splitting the two H's. So when we're doing negative charge, it makes the negative. We split it in such a way, we really whack it so that it's not, a regular parahydrogen, common hydrogen, I call it. They're sharing a proton. The two H's are separated, but they're still together because they share a proton. They're positive, negative charge, and they're sharing a proton. So they're separated, but they're still together, floating around. They're all happy by themselves. As when we make H's, our H's are on their own, negative charge only. So that's the difference. Then it grabs a hold of once a positive magnetic mate, which is oxygen. Which is carbon is positive. So it grabs a hold of carbon and blows it all apart. So we're making this ortho spin state. That's what we call it. Oh, it's written wrong in Wikipedia on purpose. They a bunch of fools. And, this stuff's not supposed to learn in school. The only reason I got involved with Tesla is because when I moved to Idaho, when I was like 19, I think I went there to be a ski bum for 3 years. And the neighbor, this farmer guy, he goes, he kind of, we got along pretty good. And he goes, "Hey, Andy, it's your birthday. I got a book for you." So he gave me Tesla's O'Neill book. So I read that when I was 18, 19. So that just kind of triggered. After that, I go, who is this guy? Invented everything. He's not in the textbook. Why is that? What's wrong with this planet? We heard about Edison. We heard about, back in 1932, they went with Einstein. He said the ether doesn't exist. So we went, he's probably another paid puppet, like these, it's a long story. We get told that this guy's the smartest guy. Like, that guy in the wheelchair, the Stephen Hawking's guy, they said he was the smartest man in the world. And, then it's a sad story how he got worse and worse and worse. Then he could barely talk. He just sat in his wheelchair. And then he dies, and then a black pastor, for some reason, when you have the Holy Spirit in you, things stick. You listen to something, you go, wait a minute, what is that? It just kind of comes back. That's the Holy Ghost trying to teach you something. So I always trigger that. I always watch for that stuff. We all have that. It's intuition kind of a thing. And, I don't have this gift of discernment, but I got a gift of gullibleness because I like people. I don't know. It's so, now I lost my train of thought. And got back to, so following the Holy Ghost is a good thing to do. And I forgot what I was talking about. So my mind just lifts all over the place. That's the only bummer about me is that okay, let's see. The next one is okay, here's my trucker cell. This is for a 12 and 15 liter engine. So we sell these to truckers. Now, only the renegade truckers or independent truckers that got to buy their own gasoline, buy these things, because we tried selling to the big fleets when we first started doing this, and they're all hooked up with the oil company. Like you tell the guy and you show him, you're there as a salesman. Go, "Oh yeah, you get 10% better mileage. If you add this circuit, you can get 20 in a semi truck." So they go, oh wow, we'll save a lot. He goes, yeah, you're cleaning up the air at the same time, and you're cleaning all the carbon out of your engine, and and it doesn't hurt diesel. I mean, you can't really hurt it. Because what you're doing, you're adding a more combustible air into the air intake. That's just basically it. And it's like a catalyst to the fuel, meaning it helps it burn and blows all the cylinders apart. You really don't need a depth filter anymore. You don't need a catalytic converter. If we put these HHO kit of Bob's making orthohydrogen, should be on every car if you want to clean up the emissions, but they don't want to do that either. And I mean, we work with a company, Empire Hydrogen in Canada, and they're doing it off of the carbon credit. They're selling them as carbon credit, so they get credit or something. I don't know. And so they're selling them like that, and up in Canada. But I've been up there before, and so anyway, so the fleets don't want nothing to do with this. They go, oh yeah, really good. We'll look into it. And then you call them back, and they go, no, we're not doing that at all. Like the guy's all mad, and they found out later. They're all in bed with the oil companies, and they get like special deals on the fuel and all this stuff. If they stick with them. I don't know what it is, but you're in bed with them or something. They're owned by them, maybe. A lot of cabal own lots of stuff. Most of America works for the cabal. I think it's something like 70%. They own everything. It's kind of a shame today on Earth. We're just like barely surviving. And they want to threaten like me. Like I've done some work for myself. My father told us, so just work for yourself, get your own tools. I was going to do construction, and so I kind of came from that background. I didn't say go to college, because he just said, just do work for yourself, do car. I grew up in the construction industry with my father, and it was a painting contract. He was a painting contractor, remodeling homes and all that. I did that as a young kid, and I did that for a while. I can always go back to that, but I'm having fun doing this. I enjoy doing it. I felt led to do this, and so I keep going with it. And let's see here. Okay, this is a new thing I came up with, the toolbox. Can you make it go big? Okay. Now what it is this S7 cell, which is this size cell. This is inside the box. It's for like a smaller engine, like a 2 liter up to like 3 liter is that one. And so it's inside this box. If you go to the video on Hydrogen Garage on YouTube, you can actually, it opens up, and I got a little video I talk about it. So there's a cell and a tank, a PWM, and a dryer filter all in this little box, and you put it way in the back in the corner. I have it on a Volvo XC70 90. It's this truck it's 4-wheel drive car I have that I can take to the mining claim, and you can drive out of there because there's a steep hill you got to get up. A regular truck won't do it. So anyway, so it's all in this box. I have like $600 and it comes with a Volvo and this little my little controller. I have a nice blue box controller which tells you the amps and volts, and you can adjust the frequency wherever you want. We set it for like 300 or 96 hertz, and then and we don't set it at 60 hertz. 60 and 66 causes cancer. I go, Bob, that's what this wall socket is. And he goes, oh yeah, Tesla wanted at 400 hertz, and they didn't listen to him. So we got cancer causing current in our wall. I go, what's with that? He goes, yeah, he knows these Royal Rife frequencies. If you want to learn about the Water Smacker patent, you just go to Watersmacker and then /patent.html, and anywhere he says the word patent, you click on it, and it shows you what Bob has with this. The Department of Defense Science. They had a 10-year project, he said, and they worked on DNA and nanotechnology. And he goes, we worked on the Chi box room with the Royal Rife frequencies, and him and a bunch of doctors and scientists have got it down. He goes, watch out. Like, Tesla Tech, there's a lot of people with Royal Rife stuff or Tesla technology, and he goes, watch out with the Royal Rife stuff. You can get sick if you don't have the wrong frequency. He goes, watch out buying it from some individual. We had to go through painstaking, test research to get it right. And so they got it all ready to go. It's ready to roll out. So Bob patented that, and just so that they won't patent on top of them. And it's supposed to roll out with like these med bed things, but I don't know when that'll happen. That would be great if it did, because it gets frequency, no more no more surgeries, no more chemotherapy, no more St. Jude's, collecting money off, they shave the baby's head and the poor kid. I can't stand that. They just make money off of chemotherapy, which killed my sister at age 14. So I'm kind of mad. I don't like that. My sister's in heaven. I'm gonna live next door to her for the rest of my life. So that's what kept me going. God felt sorry for me, so he gave me a lot of faith. and he gave me dreams and visions. So I had a vision of my sister. Oh, then when my friend Joey died, he was a Christian guy that died. Back to my friend that killed himself, and we started a Bible study in that room where he killed himself, and 30 people accepted Christ. So that was my Christian boot camp thing, going through that, praying the demons leave. So they have to leave. When I mention the name of Jesus, they got to leave. So I like, it's like, you have to learn this, it's like learning anything. It takes time. So I got to have that. So that's one thing that to the boot camp part. Oh yeah. One time my friend Joe was visiting me, and I just a quick vision. My sister was older. He's their friends now. And the whole time he was standing there, I could see he was strong. Because one of my own friend says, "Oh, this pastor." I went to this pastor's house. We used to play the guitar with Eddie Van Halen's friend, Dennis Travis. He kind of taught Eddie Van Halen how to play the guitar in Pasadena. So we used to jam with I didn't know Eddie at all, but I would jam with Dennis. So Dennis' father was Robert Travis, and he was a Pentecostal preacher his whole life. So that guy was a trip, little guy. And he'd pray for anybody got knocked down. And so he went in the room one day, and he goes, "Son, you can't take your life. I'm sorry, your friend Joey's not going to be in heaven. You can't do that." And so we went to dinner, and then we came back, and he goes, "Son, come in the room." And he goes, "Your friend Joey's in heaven." He goes, and I felt that he was standing there, like in the room. We were just praying, standing there for a few minutes. And then I saw my sister stand right next to him. Just a quick vision thing. And then Joey, the whole time, was going, "Dude, I'm sorry you had to go through that." Oh, because I found him dead. I had to go deal with all that and call the police and all. I remember that was a bad day. I mean, and then I couldn't even stay in the house. I had to sleep across the street because the place was haunted. So I'm packing my stuff up to leave. I'm going to move back to my mother. Goes, "Yeah, come on back and go to school." So this was I was 23. So I kept packing my car, and the Holy Ghost goes, "Hey, Andy." The Holy Ghost always goes, "Hey, Andy." It's like, so I'm usually Andrew, and he goes, "What stay here, make a stand." I go, "I'm gonna make a stand." I'm just trying to packing my car, ignoring the voice. I thought, sometimes you hear stuff, don't know what it is. And the voice of God comes from inside. The demons, I had demons, they talk to your ears. So remember that. If you hear it from the outside, it's usually a demon telling you what to do. But if it comes from inside and you laugh, then it's the Lord inside. He comes. Anyway, so he goes, "Hey, Andy, make a stand." So I told me 3 times. And I go, "Okay, what do you want me to do?" And this place is haunted. I ain't staying here. And so I go in the back room, and then I put my hands out, and at one point he goes, "You did give me your life, didn't you?" And I go, "Yes, I did." And so I stood there, and I go, "Okay, what am I supposed to do?" So I just stood there going, "Okay, Lord, you do whatever you want." So I gave you my life. So I'm standing there, and all of a sudden this vibration hit me. It took like 10 minutes of vibration. It started from the top of my head. I'm just standing in my hands. Like there's nobody around, and it went vibrating, and I got to my vocal cords. I go, "You foul spirits, get out of here." And it was such a nice massage and electricity going through me. And then it got to my heart. I started laughing, and it kept going real slow. And then it went through your chakra points, then it went to my stomach, then it went to my living water, my stomach. Then it went down like a crotch area. Then it went down to my legs, and finally it stopped. And when it was done, the whole room smelled like it was a sweet smell, and it was clean. And the demons were. There's no haunted feeling. And right then I go, "I'm going to stay and make a stand." So I stayed there, and then then I stayed in Cayucas. I came here to go surfing. So I live in Cayucas by the sea. Well, okay, back to the hydrant stuff. Well, anyway, so I stayed, and then we started a Bible study, and a guy moved in the room, Dale Evers, and then and we had 30 kids accept Christ in that room. We had a little Bible study for called the Cayucas Bros. We did that for like a couple of years. And all these surfer kids, it was all a bunch of kids, and then the young girls, to see the young kids going, they want to check it out. And it was a good time. So I have that kind of a background. That's why I'm just mentioning that so I stay alive. And so, is there any more pictures in the slideshow? What else we got here? Okay. There's that one. I talked about that. And then I guess about it, huh? Well, that's almost an hour, isn't it, Steve? It's 7:04. Well, I guess that's wrapping it up, huh?
Well, the preparer says that if anyone has a question,
yeah, okay.
I'm posted on the comment line right now. So you can just click on that on the comments in YouTube. I don't know about Facebook, but
is there any on there?
Pardon?
Oh, click on comments. Oh, there's a bunch of comments.
Yeah. So
okay. Oh, so some people are listening. Okay. Okay.
Anyway, I want to remind people. Okay, now on this this thing here, Extraordinary Science and Technology, to get that article which has the plans for the hydrogen truck, or it has a 7-tube plan.
You know, I have one of those. If you want to buy it, I still
And
have. I have one of those in my. I leave it up all the time, and when I run out of cells, I plug it in, and I test my PWM if I don't have any cells made up. It
but
puts out a lot of
anyway,
gas. You know, I can sell it
anyway,
for $500 if anybody wants it.
to get these plans, you just go to the comments at the bottom of the screen of YouTube screen, and it has like uh, comments, below the thumbs up thing, and go for more info, and it'll bring up a big box, where we have the description and everything, and then there will be the link for this thing here. Um, I encourage everyone, to go grab it, and this was our 2015 issue 4 of Extraordinary Science and Technology, and we have back issues available. We charge like $9.95 per single issue there, or you can get a complete set of them for 200. Is about, I don't know, about 4 or 5 inches of magazines there. If you drop it on your foot, I'm sure you'll break it. But anyway, there's a lot of good material in here that you just won't find anywhere else. So anyway, here's some more comments right here. Uh,
Yeah, one guy said he's a friend of Royal Rife, and yeah, he should contact. Bob doesn't like being contacted, but if you check out a water smacker patent, you can read about it. And the Department of Defense found all the frequency. They got them all dialed in. He's got 4 quantum computers in a room, a Faraday cage room. They put metal in the doors, the walls, and the ceiling. It's a $1 million room at a hospital. It's got 4 quantum computers. He goes, one finds out what's wrong with you. The one sends a signal, sends a frequency. One registers it, and the other one does something. I forget what it is, but this out there. So Bob, that's where he's at. So Bob's this genius guy that he had so much schooling. He's got masters in chemistry, quantum physics, lab science. It's amazing what he recalls all he reads. He says, and then he's been through hell and back with his life and stuff. And but he's a nice guy. Oh, he said he got struck by lightning doing non-Hertzian energy. And he got struck by lightning. Then God changed his heart. He said, you would have liked me earlier, Andy. I was just did my own thing. I didn't really care about people. Now he likes to talk to people and enjoy conversations, and he loves people. He said it changed. Interesting guy. So Lord worked. Got me to know him. So so I'm just trying to. He's classified. It's all classified, and he can't talk about it. So I'm kind of leaking out a little bit. What's happening and oh yeah. What's that?
Here's a comment from Paul. Says you may have met Dr. Sandra Rose Michael at the Biomed conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, with her WE giant braces affect the conductivity and surface tension by 20%.
Oh,
then he asked about would having a medallion and a water smacker speed up the process.
I don't know. I don't know what the medallion's doing. Is this like a metal medallion, or is it plugged in? Or he owns a pro model. I don't know. You can email me, and I can ask Bob. If I can't answer it, he'll answer my emails sometimes. If he's not traveling, he'll do it. He does a million different things. Bob does, and he says he's retired, but they got him working doing stuff. And that Sandra near that machine, you feel you can feel relaxed, kind of like the air smacker. You kind of just feel all relaxed. You just come in the room and listen. When she said you leave in the chair, you think you want to be healed. It's like you just kind of, same with the water smacker water. Once it comes out, you can pray over the water. Lord's doing that. You can pray over the water, and you can put your vibe into it, and you can just pray whatever you need and whatever wrong with you. And it's like a good time to pray, and then drink the water down. One time I did that, got full of the Holy Ghost. I was going to make a video of that, but a lot of people don't believe in the Lord like I do. So you go to Tesla Tech, there's a lot of smart people, like engineers, scientists. They're not religious because they got their own mind and they're smart and they figure stuff out. So that's, some people don't think, oh, he's a fruitcake. He believes in that Jesus stuff. See, I don't go to church. I go to church in my heart. I live in my church every day. I stopped going after the vineyard, after Lonnie Frisbee came and they split up. I go, what? That was the best guy that ever came by our church. This Lonnie Frisbee got it. I experienced the Holy Ghost hitting that thing, and that was the best church service I ever been to. So I stopped going after that when they broke up. And I go, oh man, so I haven't gone to church in 20 years, but I go with my wife, who's Catholic. She goes prays at the mission in San Luis, and we go there and cry, and for 10 minutes, and he put $1 in the slot for the wall for the homeless. But I I don't know why I mentioned that, but that's just who my deal is. Yeah, that's why they go by Bro Andrew. The whole town calls me this. Like some people walk around me, not anymore. I guess I'm getting older now, but in the old days, like they did. I don't know. I don't mind it. That's just we have. I have fun. It's a good life. So I have that. If I don't have that, I just sort of want to live. I did everything in life. I'm ready to go home. But if I'm still alive, I'll try to help out. And move on. And this is what we should be using. Water as a fuel, and water smacker and healing people. And I don't trust the vaccines. I don't know, but we shouldn't mention that. Anyways, well, who else is talking? It says here. On the Ormus. Yeah. I'm also going to be at the Life Conscious Expo on February 10th to 10th, and we have this Miracle water Debbie Davis makes, and I'm going to share a booth with her. The water smacker kind of like they unite together, like it's a filter system, reverse osmosis, but it enhances the Ormus, and then she brings in magnesium and stuff. So it's like really good drinking water from tap water turned into. Then you smack it after that. So you got really excellent water. That's a thing. And if you want to help Steve out, I'll give you $50 off, like an HHO kit or a water smacker, air smacker. Just type in. I'll put the coupon now. Just put Tesla Tech. Small letters maybe. And you get $50 off. And then once you say $50 off, I can tell Steve and I'll donate some money to him to help out with the show. Yeah.
Anyway, there's another thing. Could putting more Ormus in the water smacker and taking the shockwave way to inject the Ormus in the body.
Could he put more Ormus into the water? If you buy the Ormus, some people I made Ormus from salt water, from the salt. If you can put I guess, it'd help. That's what Debbie's water does. It puts more Ormus in the water. Yeah. You know what it does? The water smacker, it suspends the Ormus. Like there's a video Bob shows with him and Dr. John Reinhardt. They go to Tesla Tech and they watch it suspending. He said he had little lights. They were like little LED, special light. They could see it. The water smacker suspends the Ormus. Bob says it's part of the microclustering process. But yeah, the water smacker is 100% microclustered if you leave it for the time you're supposed to. No other machine does that. Other people say they're microclustering, but only some of the molecules are. At least the water smacker is 100% microclustered. And it's something to do with the Ormus. He says like as rain falls from the earth, if it's freezing, you can see the snowflake, and that's microclustered water. Now, if you're in a tropical rainforest, you're not going to see it because it's just a raindrop. But that water has like a lot of Ormus in it. It's come down. So it's good to drink rainwater if you have a clean roof, like you have a plastic roof. It's really good. It's a lot of Ormus in it. And then it collects the Ormus out of the water, the water smacker. It puts it together, and I don't know, the water technology just keeps going and going. I'm not a scientist, I'm not explaining all that, but it gets deep the way how the water cleans your blood plaque, and they don't take any pills, some people don't believe us it does it, but the people that have it, we had a lady rebuilt her kidney. She was a drunk, and she just drank the smack water, and now she drinks less, and she smoked cigarettes and drank all her life, and then she was going to die. Her liver was going out, and it saved her liver just from smack water. I mean, that was amazing. That's Mario's girlfriend. He's the guy who calls me up here once in a while from Alabama, but. What other questions are there? See here.
Which Bob is that? Okay, you're talking about Bob Boyce. This guy was asking who.
Yeah, Bob Boyce, Boyce. Yeah, just go to YouTube and type his name, and he's a guy you can trust. You can take my word for it. you know, we're not salesmen or nothing. We're just trying to help the world out. And he just lets me do this. He goes, dude, they'll be after you. Why do you want to sell this stuff for? And I go, well, I like this and I'm intrigued by it. He goes, well, who'll be after me? He goes, you'll find out. And and I've been kind of attacked. It's just real minor. I think it's funny. I don't care. See, I don't. It's trivia. I'm not going to mention it, but you can write a book about it. Like my package gets smashed, and you have to pray over them, and then they send it back with dirt in it. There's just like the post office is not owned by the government. It's like the Federal Reserve. It's a private company. Like they can fuck with your package. They're not supposed to by law not touch your package, but it goes to suspicious mail center, and who knows what's going on there. One pastor told me it goes to it gets off track for a couple of days, and you don't know where it goes, and then they open it up trying to find a needle in the haystack to try to bust me or something. I don't know, or they say it says Hydrogen Garage on the label, so if I guess I work there. Oh, the guy's making bombs, let's get it. And then they open it up. What's this? What's this fuel cell thing? It's a bunch of metal with plates. They don't know what it is. I go, can you make a bomb with that? I don't know. Can I put hydrogen? Oh yeah. When people think of hydrogen, I think of a bomb. And God is telling me, no, we're going to change that. Hydrogen, the cleanest, safest gas on the planet. You should be using it. It's like, there's no fumes. We're so used to hydrocarbon with fumes but the hydrocarbons are concentrated. Like Bob was saying, he goes, when you have gasoline, there's a lot of carbon in there, hydrogen, because it's like compressed and it's concentrated. So when you turn it on and open it up, it does make a lot of hydrogen, more so than water would, so you had to do water, you just got to add more, you just got to make more surface plate area. Yeah, there's hydrogen goes up, orthohydrogen, when you go out Cape Canaveral, Bob worked on that. Every time you see a rocket go up, it's orthohydrogen. He said the cells are as big as refrigerators, 7 plates all or whatever. And his patent is gag order. His gag order, means you can't make it. So it's 1981 gag ordered patent, a sealed series cell. So we're not making a dry cell. We're not making a wet cell. They all have water in them. They're all wet. But we're making a sealed series cell. If you do that, you can make more gas. It's more efficient, and it doesn't get hot because you're 2 volts. And so we're not making ionic water vapor like I used to when I first started. You run a cool gas, and the cell will last a long time. The tank might go out after so many years, or you have plastic tanks, and it goes on and on. But so yeah, if you want to order something and get $50 off, and then I'll donate 50 to Steve or something. So Tesla Tech, just put that in lowercase. When I close this down, I'll make a coupon. It'll be good for like a month. I'll let it go for a month, and if you're interested, if anyone's interested, maybe a couple of months, because some people come and watch this show later, right?
People come watch it later. And I just want to remind everyone to check the comments, to get the free download there.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and right below the thumbs up sign is where the description is. So I wanted to remind everyone to go up there and hit that description thing. The thumbs up. It really helps us with the search engines and that. And and it also helps us. YouTube has this thing, where they're giving ad-free videos, to people who are YouTube members of their thing, the YouTube Premium or something like that. Well, what they do is they take their advertising revenue from that, and that isn't split with the people, like me and that, except it's all based on the thumbs up. So the more thumbs up you have, the bigger of a cut you'll be able to get out of it. But we're getting there. It's not much for us, but we're getting there. It's hard to compete, when you have some of these sites which have like hundreds of thousands to millions of people. But yeah, we encourage y'all to keep hitting that thumbs up for us, and if you can become a member, memberships really help us. And I believe Andrew will probably be at our conference this year in Albuquerque. Great time to meet him, and he'll let you even touch this material there, and you can try be able to see it at work there. Cause I'm sure he'll have it in his stuff and that. And, it's one thing to hear about it, but it's another thing to actually see it physically in that, and be able to do things with it.
Yeah, Tesla Tech's, the nice people are nice there if you've ever been to one. And you learn so much and you meet so many nice, smart people. It's like everyone's like intelligent. There's like health stuff. It goes on and on. Health stuff to technology to, oh, it goes on and on. It's always interesting. It's always a good time, you know. I try to get Bob to go. People flock around him, but he said he won't go anymore. Won't go on a plane. I don't know. Thomas took him last time. It'd be nice to have him go again, but maybe he will. I don't know. Twist his arm.
But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close out. And as a final reminder, the conference is coming up August 9th to 13th. Our phone number to register is 520-463-1994. And it's a 35% discount right now. If you sign 2 or more, it's 40%. And so thank you all for coming. And
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Good night.
See you later.
All right. Happy New Year.
Yeah. See you later, Andrew.
Okay. All right. Bye. Bye.